debate. In this video, I will aim to pinpoint the genetic origins of the Ashkenazi Jews through an unbiased and scientific approach to understand who they are from a genetic perspective. Over here I have a Bronze Age DNA breakdown of the average Ashkenazi Jew. And interestingly, what we see is that around 19% of their DNA is Bronze Age Levantine derived. This DNA component is characteristic of Bronze Age Levantine groups and is found highest in Christian populations of the Levant. However, it is important to consider that Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry is quite dynamic, with some individuals having both lower and higher levels of Levantine ancestry. The dynamic nature of their genomic profile means that any conclusions regarding percentages should be contextualized within the broader narrative of human migrations and historical developments rather than as evidence for socio-political or ideological assertions. In addition to Levantine ancestry, around 20% of their ancestry on average is Northwest Asian and Mesopotamian related, highlighting the diverse ancestry of Jewish populations, which span beyond the ancient Canaanites to groups in Mesopotamia and Iran. Needless to say, the historical region of Canaan faced many conquests until it was conquered by the Romans in the 1st century. During the Jewish revolts, many but not all the Jews were exiled from the Levant and dispersed across the Roman Empire. This dispersal was not uniform, but rather a complex and multi-directional migration that brought them into close contact with populations throughout Europe and the Mediterranean basin. That's why, when you look into the Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry, around 31% of their DNA is Southern European derived. These Jews eventually started migrating deeper into Europe, and eventually, many of them settled in Germanic-speaking lands. Here, they faced a period of growth, giving rise to the Ashkenazi Jewish identity. They would then migrate into Eastern Europe, contributing to the formation of Eastern Europe's Jewish community. This is the reason why Yiddish, a High Germanic language with both Hebrew and Slavic influences, is spoken by the Ashkenazi community. It is also the reason why around 26% of the average Ashkenazi Jewish genome is Northern European in origin. A common misconception is that the Ashkenazi Jews descend from the Khazars. The Khazars were a Turkic confederacy who embraced Judaism between the 7th to 9th centuries. Genetically, they would have been a mixed population including Turkic, Caucasian, and steppe-related groups. However, when we look into the Ashkenazi Jewish ancestral profile, we can see that only around 1.5% of their DNA on average is Proto-Turkic in origin,